Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today, if you read the title, basically I'm just talking about my experience with becoming pole fitness instructor certified. So I just got this today. It's backwards, but it says certified and then it says my name. And yeah, so I did it. Hello. Some people know I talked about doing it, wavered on doing it, and did it, so here we are. So basically, I can't really speak for everyone who does the program because it's not going to be the same depending on where you do it at. It's not a totally regimented certification in terms of now the certification that I got, I believe it is accepted at other places, but some places may just want you to get theirs because they do things slightly differently. Every place is gonna have like a niche. So pretty much it was a 3-day process. The first day we pretty much focused on, they gave us these books, and these books are not standardized. They are yet again specific to a studio, and we just went over the overall things, which I can go ahead and just read the table of content. So the table of content, we have the introduction, which is just the training and what you're going to be doing in general, like how the whole thing was going to progress, which could be different place to place. Pole equipment, so they did just want to make sure that you have like a general knowledge of like different types of poles so that you don't just look silly when somebody asks you about poles or about like pole grips or things to do with poles, because if you work in that industry you should probably know at least a little bit about it. Class components, so fitness levels, utilizing class time, floor mats, clothing, shoes, emergency procedures. So that's all kind of basic things that you should go over during any pole certification for sure, because you just want to make sure that you like are at a fitness level and are able to assess a fitness level. You want to make sure that you're utilizing class time correctly, and you definitely want to make sure that you know the emergency procedures. Now the clothing conversation, that's gonna yet again range studio to studio because you know some people are gonna have different policies. Principles of pole fitness, safety. They're going to talk a lot about safety because it's very important that you know how to be safe if you're going to be teaching other people. Warm-up guidelines, so you're going to get all of the important things you need to know about how to warm up people's bodies, about different ways to do that. Points of contact, so knowing how to keep yourself on the pole. You should definitely know your points of contact just to be able to identify basic moves. Body alignment, body awareness, confidence, pole spotting. Pole spotting was actually a major part of the whole experience because it was important that you should know how to safely assist someone into a move without injury, because that's your job. You learn the most common injuries, talk about the muscles, and then the class format, which is going to vary, yet again, depending on where you're at. And that's pretty much the table of content for the book. And that was what we went over the first day. So it was all reading, there was no polling. The next day, we came in and each one of us had to come up with a warm-up. I actually got to do mine first, and a lot of people wrote their stuff down. I did not, because I felt like if I wrote it down it wasn't going to be organic and I really wouldn't be like getting judged the way I needed to be, and like I just wanted to kind of like get into it and do it. And they actually had like a lot of good like feedback for me, and they said I did overall pretty good. Only thing that they said was that I took it too long, because they said that it needed to be shorter, and I did take it too long. I should have stopped at a certain point, but I really just wanted to fit in this one more stretch. It was important to me. So there was that. But other than that, they said overall I did a good job, so we went through that. And then we pretty much got into role play of scenarios. Of probably the biggest thing that I didn't realize when I first started the program was how important it was going to be to really be able to, one, do the move, demonstrate the move, and see everything at the same time. Because you're focused on how you're teaching the move, and then you have to be able to go to every person and like look and see and find the thing they're doing wrong. Now that was definitely the thing that took the most time, was just kind of going around and seeing who's doing the move correctly, identifying who's doing it correctly, identify who's doing it wrong, and identify how they're doing it wrong. And that's one thing that none of us totally did perfectly in my group. We definitely we found like those easy corrections, like point your toes, or if it was really obvious, like, hey, you're just not holding this correctly, things like that. But we definitely didn't catch all the little cues. So they told us that was something that would come with time, and we did that for a lot of it. And then of course we warmed up again and we went over the progression of pole, because there are some moves that you can build upon, and that's important in the classroom environment, that you can build upon your moves. So just knowing where to progress further in different moves. Perhaps if you do pole, or that's why you clicked on this video, doing a invert where you teeter-totter up into it and that's it, and then going into an invert where you have your knees bent, or then going into an invert where you have a chopper, or then going into a deadlift where you keep your legs the whole time just straight, or going into an aerial invert. So those would be a progression of just change of how you could do it and make it harder. And we went over that, and then that was pretty much the end of the second day. And the third day had just a real focus on different things that the studio offers for parties, or different things that they offer there, as well as like going over more of the closing duties and opening duties, and then also just going over spotting. We spent a long time on that for spotting a invert or different variations that are very commonly spotted. So that was another thing we did work on. So that was fun. I felt I actually did decent in that, and I felt pretty good about it. For me, I'm also like a bigger person, not like I'm large, but like I am not like small in stature. There was one girl in our class who was a lot smaller in stature, and it's just hard. I could see it being more hard on your body if you're just more of a small person. For me, I'm just really medium heighted, medium weighted, and average kind of bigger build. So like for me to push a person isn't as big a deal as it is for someone who's a lot shorter, thinner, or even just like, that's probably the biggest thing, is how different in size someone can be to you and spotting them. So that was interesting for sure. Then we did the test, and it was not timed, which was nice, and then we just did them and they gave us our results, and it was pretty great. Overall, I would rate that process definitely like an 8 out of 10. Some of the things maybe we could have gone over more, but we all did pass, so there was that. And overall, I think it was a good experience. And now my studio specifically does have like more stipulations of things you need to do to actually be an instructor there. Now we're just all certified, so now we have to go through the intern program where we show them like that we really want to teach. So basically from here we'll see where this ends up, but this was my experience and how it all went down, and it did result in me, I passed, so there's that. So overall, instructor program went really well. Overall was good. I didn't give away any like big hints. I'm not going to talk about what was on the test because I won't discredit this business and their work and what they do. They're providing a safe instructor environment for you at a studio, so you shouldn't try to cheat on this stuff. You should just but if you're wondering how it works, that's pretty much it. You go to your studio that you go to, you tell them that you're interested. If they offer the program there, then they can bring you through the program there. You should be at pole or doing pole for at least a year before you try it and go get certified. And then you just kind of get to, in my experience, was we did the book work. We did a practical day where we just really role played and went through a whole bunch of different things and talked about positions and everything, and got to try demoing ourselves and teaching moves ourselves. And then we went through a whole another day that was really strongly focused on spotting, and then we pretty much did the test, went through it. They went through the answers and they just were like, okay, everybody passed. And that was how it went. So I will totally keep you guys posted on how everything goes. I did my program through Pole Fitness Carolinas. If you have any more questions or interests about how it went or the process, you can totally hit me up on my Instagram and DM me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back at you next week with another video, probably a little bit more organized with maybe a real content theme, but this is what I did. This is my life, and welcome to my existence. I will see you next week. Bye.